You know, I've been asked a few questions about nano tanks. Now, people don't understand that nano tanks are actually harder to filter than larger tanks. Larger tanks, you know, they go wrong a lot less often because you've got more water volume. But sometimes nano tanks can switch just like that. So just like that. So it's very key to have the right filter. Now, the Flex does it really well with the back sump idea, if you like, but it's not perfect. And so an ideal situation would be take all that out, which I've done in a previous video, and then gives yourself a little filter. So when I was talking about this on a forum many moons ago, someone said to me, he goes, well, I've got a perfect filter for that. Well, it turned up today. It's just a white box. I believe it's done by a company called Pawfly or Flu or something like that. Pawfly. Obviously a Chinese brand, most of them are nowadays. So let's have a look at it. Let's take it apart and let's see what we think. So you've got the usual sort of goodies that go on it. In this case, we have, of course, I had to rip it in the completely wrong direction, Alan. There we go. Okay, so we have spray bar attachment, some bends. Oh, you can put an airline on there. I wonder if it comes with a bit of airline. It'd be silly if it didn't, but yeah, it comes with an airline. That's good. The Venturi as well, so you can adjust the amount of flow. Now, a lot of people think that you need bubbles in an aquarium here. You don't need bubbles. What you need is surface agitation, and that will help you with gas exchange, which is more important than anything. This has a little this has a cleaning brush. Okay, not particularly good one, but it has a cleaning brush. Okay, tiny little filter though. Okay, it's still got an adjustment. See that? You know, you get bigger filters that don't have that. Now this is just a powered sponge filter. It's relatively cheap. It has two tiny suckers that, well, oopsie daisy. Well, there's your, okay, that's easy enough to get to. Tiny little pump. This must be, I don't know if there's anything. Gold dust these are. Don't normally get this. In a lot of samples I get, we don't get these sort of things. Of course, this is a warning. And there's no real details on the anything on the box. No, not really. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll see if I can find this on Amazon. Okay. Oh, I like that. Look, all that does is block it. It just blocks the hole. Oh, how quaint. So you don't really need that. I should imagine, does that, oh, like it comes out the bottom. Okay, well, there you go. That's not too bad, quite coarse. That'll be good for bacteria. You get that in a shrimp tank, they'll love it. So this is shrimp safe, I would say. Look at that. Very basic, very cheap. Is this going to go back together without me fighting? There you go. Lots of attachments. So do they fit well? Yeah, you know they do. Because obviously when you put a spray bar attachment, you really want it to be quite narrow. The trouble is these don't fit together. Oh, I see. So it's going to be quite far out of the water. I mean, you could use it like that anyway if you wanted it to be like a waterfall effect, which I've done one of these actually. So we had some stones, waterfall effect. That was quite cool. That was years ago. I was in the shop. Well, I'm going to use it with a spray bar attachment first. I don't know why that's not blocked off, but I suppose you could use it with other pieces. I'm not going to use the air. So you'd use the air like that and then put that on top. I can't believe it's got a cleaning brush. I'm not sure what's used to clean with it, but it's too fat for the pipes. It sucks from both ends. There's a little bit of room here. So you could put just a couple of lumps of media in there if you really wanted to. Bit disappointing that keeps coming off. But hey ho. Do you know what? The quality of this plastic ain't that bad either, which is good. Yeah, you could put something here. I wouldn't put too much, but you could. Now, there you go. Okay, well, plastic's good. Tiny little box. That's my hand, isn't it? It's tiny. Ah, here we go. We've got some details here. Let's see if I can get that up to the camera. So if you can see that. That's 4 watt. Okay. 4 watts, great. 4 watts about the sweet spot for up to sort of 60 litres. Anything above that, 10 watt. Anything above that, and so on and so on. That's what I would do. But I like this. Okay, let's get it wet. Okay, so that's what it looks like in Aroma 200. Doesn't look out of place really. Obviously you'd have this probably at the back corner there. I'm doing it so you can see the video. And it's not looking too bad. I would probably use the spray bar. Now, to put this into context, this has the same flow rate as the Fluval Flex 57 litre. Okay, well, it's slightly higher. This is 300, they're 240, 260. So this would actually be good for it. You could use this in the back compartment, in fact. Okay, so I want to stick it in the sink now, and we're going to have a look to see how well this performs. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to use it with the spray attachment, or waterfall, whatever you want to call. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, it is moving a nice amount of water. Just a quickie before we go. I'm going to do the pros and cons, obviously, but this thing's ultra silent, okay, and it moves enough water to really have no problem servicing a flex tank, you know, something about 60 litres. Okay, let's do the pros and cons. Okay, pros and cons. What do we like about it? Everything. Okay, so that little bit of sponge, I'm going to do it just higgledy-piggledy because I love doing it like that. The sponge, very small, but it's different. It's about the same size as an Eheim Pickup 60, okay? So that's going to give you a point, but the 60 is a little bit higher wattage and twice as expensive as one of these. It's got a metre-long cable on it, comes with some accessories. You can have the spray bar or not. I would go with the spray bar, okay, because that way, if you put that on there, you can literally move it wherever you want without putting the attachment on if you didn't want to. And you can customize it to wherever you want. There's the company's name. It's higher power than the Flex's standard pump. Okay. Now, I did have some problems. The first thing problems, when I done this and moved this over, it just shut the filter down. And also, it was very noisy when I first put it in. It was only when I moved it and oscillated it inside the water itself to get everything out, and then it went completely silent. I mean, I couldn't hear it. In fact, I thought I'd turned it off before I did that. So, yeah, they're all good. Okay, let's put it back in the sink and have a look. So it's quite easy to set up, and this would really do. You know, you could use this as what I call a media barrier. So you put some media in there, yeah? And that's just to help the fish. So if you put a normal filter and you put 6 fish in there, when they've got used to that and you want to put another 6 fish in there, you could run this alongside just to give it a nice little bit of media to buffer that, see the extra sort of flow and what have you. Okay, so let's take the attachment off and let's see what it's like coming out. So that's not too bad, it's not too shabby at all. So what about noise? Not a bean, nothing. And it's still moving that. So surface agitation, well, there you go, look, it's all over that. That's fantastic. That's a really good little filter, that is. Now, don't make any, you know, assumptions that this is going to filter something up to 100 litre. You know, 60 litres is probably the max, and even that I'd probably run 2 of them if that was the case, to be fair. You know, I mean, so when they sort of give you these numbers, they do it for an empty tank at surface level. You know, once you start putting a bio load on there, you know, that's really going to tax that. However, you could clean this once a week and probably get away with it. You know, if you have, I'll tell you what, this would be perfect for a better tank. or a shrimp tank. That would be perfect. Just no, you know, no real flow, and you can angle this towards the back of the tank, or let's take that out for a minute. Look at that. That is perfect, that is. I do like that. Okay, so this is going to be a thumbs up. Cheers guys, thanks for watching.